So as the mayor of Las Vegas, I'm telling everybody, please come. We love you, we need you, and we miss you.
Las Vegas was built on the promise that the party would never end until the mayor herself just admitted it's dying. She's pleading for help as the city faces an 11% drop in visitors and stands to lose $3.6 billion from Canadians alone, threatening 43,000 jobs and nearly a third of Vegas's economy. When even the mayor calls this a crisis and confesses she's confused and afraid about what's coming, the danger is bigger than anyone realized. But the real reason Canadians and others are abandoning Vegas isn't just about money. And the truth behind this exodus is even more explosive than the numbers suggest. So what did the mayor really reveal, and can this city be saved? Mayor Shelley Berkley stands at the podium, her voice sharper than the casino lights outside. International travel is way down. People are not coming to the United States, she says, the words landing with the weight of a pit boss's glare. For decades, Las Vegas counted on a steady stream of Canadians. Now that flow has slowed to what she calls a drip. She doesn't hide her frustration. As the mayor of Las Vegas, I'm telling everybody in Canada, please come. We love you, we need you, and we miss you. But the mayor's pleas aren't just about empty hotel rooms. She's bewildered by Washington's latest move, Nevada, suddenly labeled a sanctuary state by the Department of Justice. I don't understand what the design, I don't think they understand what they're designated, she says. She rattles off names: Winnemucca, Lovelock, West Wendover. Small towns swept up in the same confusion. When pressed, she admits, no, and I'm not sure that a conversation would yield any results, revealing she's had no contact from the DOJ at all. There's an edge of fear in her words. Berkley warns of a tremendous fear factor rippling through City Hall, hinting at federal threats without any concrete answers. She's asked about the risk of losing federal funding over $100 million, some claim, but the mayor only shrugs. I don't know, she concedes. She insists Metro Police work with ICE within the law, but draws a line. They won't act as ICE agents themselves. Her frustration spills over to the casino industry, too. The gaming industry in general is nickel and diming people, she says, pointing to $70 valet charges and endless resort fees. The city's lifeline, tourism, now feels fragile, and the mayor's voice carries both a plea and a warning. The crisis is real, and no one's coming to save Las Vegas unless something changes fast. Las Vegas runs on tourism, and the numbers reveal just how much the city depends on visitors to survive. In 2024, Canadian tourists alone spent $3.6 billion in southern Nevada. That spending supported more than 43,000 jobs, more than the entire manufacturing sector in the region. Every casino floor, show, and restaurant relies on this steady flow of money. Tourism as a whole makes up about 31% of southern Nevada's gross domestic product, a bigger share than almost any other city in the country. The impact goes far beyond the Strip. Hotels fill up, taxis keep rolling, and local shops stay open thanks to out-of-towners, especially those arriving from Canada. Economists at UNLV point out that Canadian visitors rank just behind Nellis Air Force Base as a pillar of the local economy. When those visitors stop coming, the effects ripple outward. Hotel staff, entertainers, and thousands of service workers feel it first. The $3.6 billion figure isn't just an abstract line on a spreadsheet. It's paychecks, mortgage payments, and business loans across the valley. While Las Vegas attracts tourists from all over the world, Canadians have long been the most reliable international market. Their absence leaves a gap that is hard to fill. The scale of this dependency explains why every drop in visitor numbers hits so hard. A single percentage point decline in international tourism can mean tens of millions lost for the city. When flights are canceled and hotel rooms sit empty, the city's economic engine sputters. The downturn isn't just a bad month for the casinos, it's a threat to the financial backbone of Las Vegas. That's why the recent slump has set off alarms across City Hall, the business community, and among workers whose livelihoods are tied to the tourism machine. June 2025, and the numbers land like a punch. Las Vegas draws 2.75 million visitors for the month, down from 3.1 million a year earlier, a drop of 11.3%. That's not a blip. Analysts at the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority confirm the pattern holds across the board. Hotel occupancy has slipped 15% year over year. Thousands of rooms stay dark on weeknights, and even weekends show gaps. The average daily rate for a room, long a steady climb, has fallen by 6%. The city's most reliable measure, revenue per available room, tracks the same downward slope. International arrivals, always a bellwether for the Strip, are down 13%. The drop is sharpest among Canadians, but the decline extends to markets as far as Germany and South Korea. The first half of 2025 closes with a 7.3% year-to-date visitor decline, erasing most of the post-pandemic recovery. Analysts point to airline data for confirmation. Air Canada reports 33% fewer passengers. WestJet is down 31%, and Flair Airlines traffic has collapsed by 62% compared to last summer. Industry insiders, usually quick to spin bad quarters as temporary, have stopped using the word cyclical. Caesars and MGM report tens of thousands fewer room nights sold. Caesars CEO Tom Reeg calls Canadian business a significant piece of the missing puzzle, even though Canadians make up only about 3 to 4% of total visitors. The scale matters. The city's $85 billion tourism machine is running below capacity, and every empty room means lost wages for hotel staff, fewer shifts for taxi drivers, and less business for local shops. The data leaves little room for optimism. The downturn is broad, not limited to a single segment or season. Analysts warn that if the trend continues, Las Vegas could face the weakest summer in over a decade. The numbers are no longer just a warning, they're a reality. Confusion hangs over City Hall like a cloud. The Department of Justice has labeled Nevada a so-called sanctuary state, but no one in Las Vegas seems to know what that actually means. Mayor Berkeley scans a list of towns, Winnemucca, Lovelock, West Wendover, all swept up in the same federal dragnet. When pressed for answers, her response is blunt. No, and I'm not sure that a conversation would yield any results. There's been no call from Washington, no official warning, just a sudden label and a wave of anxiety. Federal funding, over $100 million, according to some city officials, hangs in the balance. But the number floats in the air, unconfirmed, more rumor than fact. The mayor admits she doesn't know what's at stake, only that the threat feels real enough to rattle every department. She calls it a tremendous fear factor. Even the police are caught in the middle. Metro works with ICE when required by law, but they won't act as immigration agents. The city walks a tightrope, trying to avoid angering federal authorities without stoking panic among residents. Reporters press for specifics. How much money is actually at risk? Which programs would be cut? No one can say. The mayor's answers grow shorter. I don't know, she repeats, the phrase echoing through the press room. The city's financial officers scramble to interpret vague federal memos, but there is no clear guidance. For now, the threat is political, not fiscal, a sword hanging overhead, sharpened by uncertainty. This bewilderment doesn't stay inside City Hall. It spreads outward, feeding a sense of instability that shapes how outsiders view Las Vegas. For Canadian travelers already uneasy about safety and cost, the headlines about sanctuary status and funding threats are just one more reason to stay away. The city's leaders find themselves paralyzed, waiting for answers that may never come, while the economic fallout grows more visible with every empty room and shuttered shop. Canadian travelers are turning away from Las Vegas in numbers that were once unthinkable. Airline data lays it bare. Air Canada's passenger count to Vegas is down 33% from last year. WestJet is off by 31%. And Flair Airlines has lost 62% of its Vegas-bound business. At the border, the story is the same. Canadian car trips into the United States fell 34% in August 2025 compared to the previous summer, a drop that hasn't been seen in decades. The reasons go far beyond airfare or currency. Social media threads and news comment sections boil with frustration. One Canadian writes, Zero chance of me crossing that border. Another, I'll never set foot in the US again. The anger is personal, but it's also political. Travelers talk about guns, about feeling unsafe, about a culture they say has turned hostile. Some point to the last election. All 6 electoral votes went to Trump. You brought this on yourselves. It's not just talk. A survey by travel operators shows 60% of Canadians are now avoiding trips to the United States. 40% say they're actively redirecting their money to destinations inside Canada or to Europe. Nova Scotia, Quebec, Prince Edward Island. These places are seeing a bump, fueled by travelers who once would have headed straight for the Strip. The economic fallout in Las Vegas is immediate. The city lost $3.6 billion in Canadian tourist spending last year alone. That money isn't coming back anytime soon. Hotel rooms that once filled with hockey fans and bachelor parties now sit empty, while Canadian social feeds fill with snapshots from the Maritimes instead of the Mojave. For Vegas, this isn't just a slowdown. It's a break, a rupture in the relationship with its most loyal international visitors, and a warning that no amount of marketing can paper over the deeper reasons people are staying away. Casino executives are running out of patience and options. Resorts World Las Vegas drops its parking fees to zero, hoping to lure back guests who once shrugged at the extra charges. On select rooms, even the resort fee vanishes, a move unheard of just a year ago. Caesars Entertainment tries a new tactic, a 2-night stay bundled with all taxes and $200 in food credits, all for $300 flat. The package is available at 3 Strip properties. A signal that the old pricing playbook is out the window. Behind the scenes, the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority signs off on a $3.25 million international ad blitz. The campaign targets Canadians, Germans, and South Koreans, the very travelers now missing from the casino floors. Billboards and digital ads promise deals, safety, and a return to the Vegas experience. But the message is tinged with urgency. The city's image, once untouchable, now needs heavy marketing just to hold the line. Ted Papageorge, leader of the Culinary Union, gives the crisis a name: the Trump slump. The phrase spreads quickly, showing up in press releases and union meetings. It's shorthand for a downturn that goes beyond currency rates or airfare. Executives at Caesars and MGM admit that international politics, trade disputes, and a sense of cultural hostility are keeping people away. The numbers are stark. U.S. tourism is projected to lose $12.5 billion in foreign visitor spending this year. Las Vegas, once the crown jewel, is now scrambling to protect its share. Casino bosses walk a tightrope, discount too much, and revenue tanks, offer too little, and rooms stay empty. The fee rollbacks and bundled deals are desperate attempts to fill the gap left by missing Canadians and other international guests. For the first time in years, the industry's confidence is shaken. Every empty seat at a blackjack table is a reminder. The old formulas no longer work. On Fremont Street, the signs of trouble are impossible to ignore. A family-run diner that once stayed open until 2 a.m. now closes before dark. Weeknights are so quiet the owner says he can hear the slot machines next door echo through the walls. Down the block, a souvenir shopkeeper counts just 7 customers on a Saturday, when he used to see 50 before noon. The drop isn't just in numbers, it's in the mood. Bartenders talk about empty bar stools, magicians cancel weeknight shows, and rideshare drivers scroll their phones waiting for fares that never come. One wedding chapel, famous for quick ceremonies, reports bookings cut in half compared to last year. Small business owners say they're burning through savings, hoping for a turnaround that never arrives. The Strip's mega casinos can afford to slash fees or launch new marketing campaigns. But for the local shops, every missing tourist is a missed rent payment. The pain is quiet, steady, and spreading, felt in every tip jar, every empty table, every closed sign taped to a window. Locals in Las Vegas are watching the numbers fall and wondering how much further things can slide before something breaks. Talk of service cuts drifts through neighborhood meetings and online forums. Parents worry about the fate of after-school programs and public pools if city budgets tighten. Seniors ask if bus routes or meal delivery will be next on the chopping block. The city's dependence on tourism revenue is no secret, but now the cracks are showing in places that used to feel untouchable. Rumors swirl about which city services could disappear if federal dollars dry up. No one has a concrete answer, not even the mayor. For small business owners and hourly workers, the fear is more immediate. If fewer tourists come, jobs vanish, and the safety net that held Las Vegas together during past downturns might not be there this time. Trust in city leadership is wearing thin. Residents want to know if the city can protect its most basic services or if the future holds only more uncertainty. The question hangs in the air. Can Las Vegas rebuild the trust it needs to survive, or is the city's luck finally running out? In June 2025, Las Vegas saw its visitor count drop by 11.3% compared to the previous year, with Canadian airline traffic falling by as much as 62% on some carriers. Mayor Shelley Berkeley has openly warned of a crisis, citing the city's $3.6 billion annual reliance on Canadian tourism and the risk of losing over $100 million in federal funding due to political confusion around the sanctuary label. Despite casino fee rollbacks and a $3.25 million international ad campaign, 60% of surveyed Canadians now say they are avoiding U.S. travel, redirecting billions to destinations at home and abroad. What remains unclear is whether policy shifts or marketing efforts can rebuild lost trust, or if the downward spiral will deepen. The evidence is clear. Las Vegas is not dead, but its recovery depends on restoring confidence from travelers and residents alike.